NFL camp, not much going on. I did love that ESPN was at the Commanders camp. And you want to talk about a whole different attitude, a feeling. When Daniel Snyder was there, it just felt like there was always a cloud over that franchise. You know, he's charging you to go to watch them practice. This just feels different. Now, they got Terry McLaurin back in camp, which is important, but it's a hold in. He still hasn't gotten his contract settled yet. But with Jaden Daniels, there's nothing like a franchise that has a quarterback where the fan base goes, yes. And that's what you have with the Commanders. And once again, trying to derive anything out of these training camps, I'm looking for the feel of it. I want everybody in camp. I want to make sure everybody gets through camp and preseason without injuries. And you want to know, what is the vibe there? Like, I'm still trying to figure out the vibe with the Steelers because of Aaron Rodgers. But you are all in. TJ Watt is in, DK Metcalf. Like, you've made some moves there, and now you bring in Aaron Rodgers. Okay, but I still don't know what that vibe is, because all of a sudden you have the Aaron Rodgers talking about Terry Bradshaw with what Terry Bradshaw said about Aaron Rodgers. And then, once again, it's always these side stories that you're trying to avoid. You just want to go straight ahead, right down Main Street. You're not going to take the scenic route here. Just get through training camp. But the Commanders, man, you got to feel good about that. Yeah. Got your coach showing up. You got his hat on backwards, going on ESPN. The crowd's going crazy. Jaden Daniels comes over. He's saying hi to the kids. Like, it was, hey, here's a PR day for the Washington Commanders. But it was fun to see. It was great to see. All right, Seton, what's poll question we have, at least starting out first hour?
We're going to start off with this one, NFL training camp with the most hope.
Hope. Okay.
We might be starting the hopeometer today.
Hope. Okay. Hope. Well, it feels like there's varying degrees of hope. Because if I start with the Panthers, what is the hope there? If I start with the Chargers, what's the hope there? Playoffs, AFC title games, Super Bowl, question mark? What is the hope?
That's hopeful.
The Rams, the hope is Matthew Stafford can stay healthy, because if he does, I think that they're going to be in the playoffs and a legitimate threat. We saw what they nearly pulled off with the Eagles. What is the hope? The hope with the Eagles is, let's just get through camp. Let's stay healthy. The Bengals, the hope is that you get Trey Hendricks in it. So varying degrees of hope for an individual or hope for the team. The Cowboys, I guess the hope would be that you clean up the Micah Parsons mess that you have that continues. Are you looking at teams, Seton, with the hope of their fan base of how they're going to do?
Well, yeah, why don't we start with, you started talking about the Commanders early this morning, right?
Right.
A lot of hope right there. Through the roof, I would imagine.
Yes.
How about the Patriots?
Yeah, got Mike Vrabel, great coach. You got your quarterback. Feels like there's a little momentum. Although, don't you fall victim to the hype videos and shows that they put out with the Patriots?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a sucker for any hype video. Yeah. I know the Patriots have this thing out right now called Forged in Foxborough, I think it is. And it is nothing but a 30-minute hype video. And you're like, Mike Vrabel might be the best coach ever. Yeah, every random dude they got, look, and now Ali Shuckatelli came in. He's got to be a great lineman. Oh, my God, have you seen this guy?
That is not an actual person, but I know what you're saying. It feels like if they show anybody in slow motion, that they automatically become great. When you're showing these videos and you're seeing, and it just feels like, the announcer's voice goes down a little bit lower than that. The silver and black clad masters of intimidation. Yes, Marvin.
Yeah, I don't care how sorry a team is, but if you see a highlight package right before they come out on the field, even though they're 0-14, and it's, I can feel it coming in the air. Oh, Lord.
Speaking of Well, the Raiders, Pete Carroll, the head coach, talking about his goals for his team.
We have extremely high expectations. I mean, I don't even know any other way to think. And I don't care what year it is or what team it is. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, this is either going for it or you're not. And we're going for it. And whatever that means at the end of it, we'll find out. But in the meantime, there is no standard that we can set high enough that we can't challenge for. And so we're going for it, like I said. And these guys are on board. They get it.
Okay. They're going for it. Okay. Like, they're hope-worthy, I mean, you're in a really tough division, but yeah, there's hope. But that's the beauty of the NFL, because all it takes is, hey, we could be this year's Commanders. Well, you can't be if you have Jaden Daniels. Then maybe you could be this year's Commanders. And can you win all of these one-score games? Can you win in the last 2 minutes, which is what the Commanders pulled off. But I love the feeling of hope with some of these teams. Like the Atlanta Falcons. Mm-hmm. Hope. Yep. But I just don't know. Like, sometimes you have to go, okay, I got questions here and I got a hope here. So where's it going? Does it level off there that the questions and the hope, they're going to match each other and we're going to be okay? Yes, Marvin.
And the hope meter goes by how tough your division is.
Yeah.
So if you're in the NFC South, you're like, 9 games? We can do this.
Yeah. Also, Arthur Blank, he is the owner of the Atlanta Falcons, talking about how he thinks we're going to eventually get to every team is going to play a game outside the United States, which I'm not big on exporting everything that we have. I don't like when baseball opens up in Japan, opening day, but I do think it's fair. If you have to make it fair for everybody, a level playing field that, hey, you're going to be playing 1 or 2 games outside the United States. That team doesn't have to play any. I think they're trying to grow the game. I think that's why they're all in on flag football, because that can be played around the world. They're trying to grow the game. And I said this, and I got this on good authority from somebody with the NFL. They're going to get to the 18th game. The 18th game is basically going to be a complete TV package, a separate TV package of you have the international games. And that's how they're going to sell this. You're going to get to an 18th game. It may not happen, over the next 2 years, but we'll get to 18 games. Every team will have a home base outside the United States. Pittsburgh's going to be in Dublin. You have team, Germany for the Chiefs. You're going to have Brazil with the Eagles, maybe Mexico City. Everybody's going to have one of these places. The Jags in London. That's how they want to grow the game. Export it, and then those cities, those countries will embrace that team. That will be their team. So it's not just Jacksonville's playing in London, but also you have owners who have soccer franchises around the world. And they're probably saying, hey, I can get my NFL team into my soccer stadium and get a couple of bites of the apple here. So this is what's going on. The question is, when does it happen? It's not if, but when. And when it does, they're going to make even more money because they'll sell this as a separate TV package. Yes, Paulie.
One other team I would like to throw on the hope meter.
Okay.
How about the Denver Broncos? They finally cleaned up their quarterback situation. Bo Nix, I know you got to get past the Chiefs, but hope. They haven't had hope in a couple of years.
Felt like they overachieved last year.
Oh, you're a hope killer. Don't be a hope killer.
Yeah.
I didn't know what you're saying.
I'm going hope solo here.
Yes.
That I'm not all in with Denver and Washington, even though they got their quarterbacks and I like their coaches and the vibe is really good. It's just sometimes you look at a team and you go, how did they get to that many wins? And it's weird. I felt like the Broncos got to that win total maybe a little more legitimately than Washington did. But Washington came up big when they needed to. It's just that's not sustainable. And I hate bringing this up, but I do bring up the fact that they're winning these really close games in the final minute or so. It's really hard to continue to do that unless you're the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, Todd.
Is it a sophomore slump thing, or is it that you get figured out after the first year now that there's video on these guys and the adjustments are made and all of a sudden they're not as shocking and surprised to see what they're going to do year two?
Yes.
Both of those things.
Thank you, Todd. It's like the Texans. It just didn't feel like they were going to be better this past year with the previous year. And C.J. Stroud was wonderful. But, man, it's tough. That second year, after you surprise people, it's like when a pitcher goes through the lineup one time, and all of a sudden he's like, man, I'm dominating. Then all of a sudden you go through the second time in the lineup and you don't make it all the way through. They get a book on you. I mean, you have to. Bo Nix will have tells, tendencies. Now it'll be different. The game plan will be different. And I think that's where you want to see this second year for a lot of these teams or quarterbacks. That's what, Drake May. Do you take the next step up? Do defenses figure you out a little bit more? It's a chess game. It's a constant chess game.